REMO, we went through a lot of iterations of, do we need a screen, do we not need a screen? And the whole idea, back to the pillars, was that we didn't want you to have to worry or manage or look at something other than your activity. So to aid in that, you point out, well, how do I know what mode I'm in? GoPro photo mode. I know what mode I'm in now. GoPro video mode. I know what mode I'm in now. GoPro burst mode. So you get the idea of, we didn't want to force you to look at something in order to know where you are. So there's that like tandem camaraderie between camera and REMO where it's letting you know in that way. And so how do you know you're recording? GoPro start recording. You can see that when it's recording, it's going to blink red. So that means you're capturing content. When I'm not capturing content, it's going to do a slow blue blink that just means it's connected to the camera. So those were the kind of things we wanted. We didn't want you to have to actually look at anything other than your activity.
And there's also that tactile vibration function. So, whether you have it on your wrist or you have it on your chest, it actually vibrates so you can actually feel it. So maybe you're in an environment, like maybe you're at a concert or a music festival where it's really loud, you'll still have that tactile sensation so you know that it is vibrating to say it's starting recording, it's stopping recording, it's taking the photo and so forth.
Good point. It beeps, like the traditional camera beeps, and it vibrates, as Cohen mentioned, and it also blinks.
Awesome. Well, the next question we have is from Miguel Marquez. Hopefully I used the correct accent there. I want to use the REMO while riding on my road bike. This includes bumps and a lot of shaking. Will REMO have problems detecting my voice with all that movement, not just wind, but the impact on the bike on extreme terrains?
So you bring up
this is pretty cool.
If you weren't using REMO, the answer would be yes. If you were just using your camera on your handlebars, using the mount, the vibration of your bike and the road would definitely impact voice command performance on the camera. But with REMO, since you're kind of separated from that, it shouldn't have an impact necessarily. We did a lot of mountain bike testing in development for this, and mountain bikers, it was not only laying flat. Jeremy can attest; he was one of our first testers, and maybe you can speak to it a little bit about how during your conditions of mountain biking, it seemed to still perform.
Yeah, definitely. Lisa mentioned I was one of the first testers for it, and first thing I thought was amazing. Finally, I don't have to take my hand off the handlebar to reach up to press the shutter button, and I almost had to condition myself to trust it, to be like, to say the commands, and the camera started doing what I wanted it to do. So as I'm going down, just biking, going down the hill, at first, I thought I had to look down. To your point, there wasn't anything that I had to look down to. I wasn't trying to check a screen. I was getting that feedback from the camera, and it turned into a really, really enjoyable experience, and it really, not only with REMO, but we don't want you to interrupt what you're doing to be able to capture it. And REMO, it's the ultimate accessory for that.
Cool.
Well, guys, I think we're getting the old time clock.
REMO,
down here.
GoPro
let's
remote.
take one
I
more
believe
question,
GoPro 5
and then
remote.
we'll announce our